Okay, just once.
Because it's informed just in the morning. Some of
Okay.
the content I have to transfer it to another device. So is it possible for you to share it if I can put it across in WhatsApp to you?
Just one second. Okay. It's- Okay. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I like to invite the speaker, Ms. Subathra K, who will talk about millets as future of food, nutrition, sustainability, and business opportunity. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your introduction. And this is Subhadra, and very happy and to connect today with this Agri University's information broadcast. So I believe that this particular initiative by the Agri University gives a lot of information for people across as a repository for anybody to search about the content. So in a way, it's a pleasure joining you and good evening. So the topic given to me is to speak about millets in three perspectives. One is all about the goodness of millets, of course, in a fact of a nutrition profile and everything. The other could be on sustainability. And third is about the opportunities for the ventures in millet based. So in that respect, I would like to start from basically on the nutritional profile of the millets. So to speak on all this content, probably you must have having a thought like, who is this person to speak on all this content? What experience she must have gained or knowledge she has, whether she has studied about it or what is it? So in that perspective, I would like to make a small introduction of myself. I've been with a millet-based value-added products manufacturing firm in the name of PVR Foods from Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu. We were being a pioneer, and right from 2016, we have this millet-based value-added products manufacturing. Especially, we started with millet dosa batters manufacturing. In the name of Guts Life, we are available in the market. Now we are presently in Chennai Big Basket. We are selling our batters. So we just started it in that way, and it was like a kind of a path which I have taken is from an academician into a kind of a startup into food domain. So in that thing, if you can think what an academician can make a difference is something. I'm from the computer science background, so little of my knowledge on engineering also helped me on devising my own machines, customizing it for making our millet processing. Because the moment when we started in the way back in 2017-18, um, by the time we were not having the machines which can immediately process millets and convert into a value-added products. And the idea which I had was about bringing a staple food form from millets. So once you think a staple food form, probably in South India, we take mostly our breakfast and dinner as dosa and idli. So I just wish to bring millet as a batter form. So in that case also we had a challenge, and we devised our own machines. In fact, that gave us a lot of visibility in terms of bringing recognition from the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Department under the RKVY Rafta scheme cohort 1. We received a highest grant for bringing a retention of nutrition in our value additions. So right from those dosa batters production, with all this support from the government and everything grant, we have just shifted our production into the other form of dry segment also. Where we were trying to bring millet in the form of dosa mixes, chapati mixes, pungal mixes, whatever you name it as a South Indian breakfast meal. Like even we make paniyaram, sweet paniyaram mixes. We were doing health mixes, and now we started even noodles, millet pastas, and all these items. Including health mixes for children, elders, women, those who are into going for a weight loss, all these variant of things we are bringing in the brand called Guts Life. So this is the journey which I have taken for the past 9 years, I will say, right from CFTRI, Mysuru, IIMR, Indian Institute of Millets and Research from Hyderabad, and all these places, in fact, from Tanjore, IFPT. These were the places where, being a person from the other domain, I had lot of learning there. In fact, some research also we have done in terms of processing. So with that kind of an knowledge, whatever we have gained as a person who is ventured into these millets, today I've been invited here to speak about this millet, goodness in a form of sustainability and other factors also. So the first thing what I would say is, basically millet is such a wonder grain. It's not just we can say it as an ancient grain. I will call it as a miracle grain because of its goodness, the micronutrients, it is the glycemic index is low. So many factors. I know after pandemic, many of you will be knowing and searching about all these healthy foods where millet stands first. And the basic difference a millet can make between your normal rice and wheat is millets are made up of complex carbohydrates. So what happens whenever it is a complex carbohydrate, it takes quite a good amount of time to become a simple carbohydrate, and then it converts into a glucose and fructose. But if you take anything from the simple carbohydrate forms of rice and wheat, it takes a very short time or a very quickly, once the moment you take consuming millet, sorry, a rice based idli or some chapatis, quickly it converts into glucose and fructose, and so the blood sugar level spikes up. So that is why after some 2 hours you will again feel a kind of a small hunger after taking a breakfast at 8:30. Before 1 o'clock or probably at 11:30, definitely you will have a small hunger because it is a faster way it converts into glucose and fructose. So this is a basic difference why dietitians also recommend for all the diabetes and other people to go and get shifted for these millets. The problem what we have is seeing the grain, such a tiny grains, we feel like, is it tasty? Will it be good? Will it be palatable? And all these kind of challenges and the thought process we used to have. So that thing only I have broken in terms of bringing a healthy, palatable food items. So we have now 120 different products from millets in the brand same the Guts Life. So we are even giving millet products to as an inpatient food for a few of the hospitals in Coimbatore, very famous hospitals to name even, I can say it is a PSG hospitals. And also to naturopathy hospitals, we are giving it in their SOP as an inpatient food. So this could be the kind of authenticity which you can think when a product is something not just for the patients. We are taking it as a product for people, for children, for elders, for women, and all these categories. So we are also bringing a kind of the idea of making millets into a form like where you bring lot of changes in the people's life in terms of the healthy difference. The micronutrient profile of millet makes people's I will say that it is something on whatever you have your ailments. In fact, we made one, I can share an example. We have been into some industry because Coimbatore is full of lot of industries over here. So in 2 3 industries we visited, which had employee strength of more than 800 people, 800 plus, I will say. Even 2000 was there in the other industry. So we went and we took a kind of a basic medical test to understand what kind of ailments they have. So we found that the people who are working in the same industry for more than 20 to 25 years, they are blue collar job people, I'm saying. When we have taken that medical this thing testing, I can see there is a very considerable amount of people suffering with varicose. People are prone to diabetic. People are suffering with some heart ailments. Cholesterol was high. So many kind of a different problem was there. So we had a discussion even with the CEOs who were kind enough to spare some good amount of time with us. So I just asked her, these people are having food in the canteen of the company, and they have all these issues. And is there anything taken as a measure to them uh, to make themselves, more far better lifestyle or anything? They said it is all the canteen given for the contract, and whatever the contractor makes a menu, that's what it is working. We have just provided a space, that's it. So we have no idea of what is happening around. Probably they might have regular meals and dosas, chapatis, parotas, something like puffs, samosas would be the kind of a menu, and that's what they were trying. And probably the lifestyle of blue collar people, mostly, they may be alcoholic prone, and they may not have a proper, way of life and all that. That's what the discussion was. I said, sir, can we have some options of bringing some healthy food as a menu in the list? And that's how we made a change over there. So slowly, weekly once we started giving them millet dosas as a, batter form, and they tried to make it as a batter. And we had a lot of discussion with the contractor, and somehow we made a change. So that made a remarkable difference in the people's mind, that is in the employees' mind, that they wanted to think for this food, whether it is available for purchase, whether they can give it for the children, and all this kind of a change was happening. Even I have another example in some place called Kalahasti. We were giving our products to a self-help group, and where they were trying to make millet based this Java and other things, dosas and all paniyaram, paddu, all that. So what happened? I was visiting that place also sometime later after sending all these products, probably after some 3 to 4 months' time. I can see a lot of drivers who are shunting between Kalahasti to Tirupati. They were trying to have that Java, which is from finger millet, that is from ragi. They make it like a drink, hot or something cold. I mean, not too much hot also. It's a warm kind of a drink with onion and other things. So I was asking that, do you like this dish, and are you taking it very randomly or regularly? He says, no, I cut down my tea because I'm diabetic, and this product, I mean, this Java is something for which I just wait to finish my trip to Tirupati and come back to Kalhasti and have this. So she was selling it for a cost of 20 rupees. So all these were making some small differences with the people basic lifestyle. So millets are a kind of a miracle grains, and with whatever the mode we have tried, we could see there is a difference which is happening with people on weight loss, going for a healthy lifestyle. Many changes were happening. So this is something, of course, you can Google about millets, you can see all the micronutrients and profile, everything. But what I am sharing is an experience which we have experimented with people in a mass way, in a very big group, like employees team, and this is something in the public which we have done all that. So this is something which you have to keep it in mind. So whatever be your kind of a life or anything, try to think of somewhere you can include a healthy food, how possibly you can bring. And I will say millet is the best choice because of its availability and the kind of goodness it possesses, the fiber rich, the glycemic index of whatever it is low, and many of all these aspects you have to consider and you have to include it. So this is one thing which I have to say from the perspective of nutrition profile of millets, and how a common people can think of including millet as a meal at least weekly twice. They can start using it. Some are the other way. Of course, you people are in Karnataka, means if the viewers or the participants over here, they will definitely have a habit of taking finger millet. But my information to you is try to go for usage of other minor millets like kodu millet, barnyard millet, foxtail millet, little millet. These are the millets which fall in the category of minor millets, and they have another set of a high profile nutrient with which you can able to make lot of difference in your health, improving your health. So that way, you can have a round robin mode of taking the millets. Millet has to be consumed like every day, like a mono is the best thing. That is one day, one millet. So you can go for one day finger millet, the other day barnyard, the next day you can go for foxtail. Likewise, you can use it. Need not buy one millet and use it that one millet for throughout the month or anything. So try to have multiple, but don't mix it and use on the same day or the same meal. Better that you can use one millet per day. This is how you can start transforming your habits of health into a healthy way. Second part which I wanted to touch is something on, how millets can be a kind of a venture for somebody. So I mean, millet is something available in very few countries. I will say like India, Africa, probably China is growing, and this is something which you have to see from other countries' perspective. You must be knowing that 2023 is observed as the International Year of Millets by our PM. It is being recommended, saying that it is such a sustainable food to be consumed across the globe, and it is being proposed to the UNO, and 79 countries across the globe have agreed upon this particular conception of millets. So in that way, people are now looking for millet foods, and lot of the kind of increase is happening in the consumption level, and which we are seeing it from the export values. You people, those who are planning for some startups in millets, definitely they can look out for the opportunities which are available from your export profile industries, which are available in the government database also. There you can check which countries are trying to import more amount of millet food items. So millet pancake mixes, millet noodles, millet pastas are the products which are highly in demand across the globe, and we are also exporting the similar products across many countries. They are looking forward to take millets. The challenge what an exporter from India will have is in terms of the shelf life. So for which you need to really go with some of the research institutions like IMRs and CFTRI, Mysuru, or other CFTRIs in other places, probably in Bangalore or wherever it is. So you can check it and you can just get the details. My recommendation for people will be like, first you can approach some of the manufacturers and try to get the product and do a trial kind of a sales and test the market to the country wherever you want to export. By the way, you can understand like what challenges you have, so later you can get into the own production house. I know there are a lot of startups, they are trying to invest immediately, taking some loans and making the product, but they do not know how to sell the product. That is a kind of a challenge which many people are facing. So better that you first capture the market, first get into the market with some products in hand, taking it as taking it from other manufacturers. You can move across, just do your own branding also. If you wish, you can create a new brand and try to approach the market across, and once you set up the market, then you can have your own production also. This is something which is from the experience of what we were doing, because the year when I started in the year of 2016, our firm, there were no one playing anything in the millet in terms of what I said as a fresh dosa batters. So I just made it, being a first generation entrepreneur, we made it as a kind of an effort of no, just an adventurous mode. But I wish now there are a lot of manufacturers are there are a lot of products available across. It's better that we can go with trying from some manufacturers, and you can keep making your own testing across the trial test and market test, everything. So once you are confirming that these are the fast moving products in the particular country, then you can go with your own production house. So this is something for the purpose of export. But I will say India itself is having, such a good population, 140 crores. And, the statistics says India is becoming the diabetic capital of the world, especially the states like, Andhra Pradesh, even in Tamil Nadu, I will say, Karnataka, the consumption of the rice and rice-based products are very high, and physical movement and physical activity of the people to burn their calories is going low, especially not only in these countries or these states or any place. Across globe, our amount of physical activity is going low. In that perspective, if you are taking too much of calories through these, rice and wheat, of course, we should consume rice and wheat. We need not skip it. But the quantity which we consume can be little bit altered, can be mixed. Probably, 4 days you can go for rice, and 3 days you can go for millets or some other, low glycemic index food items. Something like that you can try. So, India itself is going to be a greater market for the people who are getting into millets as a venture. I will recommend that the kind of food items which are available in North for millet is seems to be less. Of course, South, there are so much of millet, growers are there, farmers are there. But I believe in North side, we have only bajra, and very few variants of millets are grown in places like Rajasthan and UP. So probably the minor millet variants are required in the northern states. So from south, it can be taken across as a different product for them, and it can make a good market. This is something for the domestic we can work out. It is also very alarming that in India, it is 111, or I will say exactly to say in 2025, it will be 101 million people. That is, every seventh person in India will be prone to diabetic. So this is 2025 state statistics which is being presented, but I will say this is growing up even for children, even for people at the age of 30 to 40, or more than 45 percentage. Generally, it was a kind of a shocking message to me. I used to believe earlier that the diabetics is something which is happening for people, above 50 years, 60 years. Then only that they will be prone to these things. But recently, the research says the people who are getting into, because it's why I'm speaking so many times, diabetes is, it is something very, very chronic. Once, maybe you cannot simply say it is something on the alteration of the blood sugar level and things like that. No, it totally affects your internal organs slowly, one by one. It's a very, very chronic disease, and we have to really, care about it, and we have to prevent it. Why we are speaking on millets and food nutrition, everything over here is something what we are planning is on the prevention of getting any disease. There are n number of hospitals in the country which will treat once you get some problem, once you get some disease, once you get some pain or something. But what we are discussing today is all about how to prevent and go for a healthy life. This is something very, very essential. Prevention is something which makes you, stress free. Absolutely, you can enjoy your life just by changing some food habits. You need not get into a, enter into a hospital gate, which is very, very, very nice. And those who have been moving into hospitals every day, maybe for their parents, for children, or for anybody, they only know what kind of a pain and strain is available while you are entering an hospital. How much of stress is there? It's not just as a patient, even a person who is accompanying a patient will be in stress once you are going there. So, what we have to do is the best is try to make your life as, something preventive mode, just by changing your lifestyle. Of course, I mean, if you even go to gym, people used to say, workout, everything works only up to 30 to 40 percentage. Diet takes care of 70 to 60 percentage, would be a comment by your trainer. So this is speaking loud about how a diet is something very, very important for anybody, whether you are a working woman or not just women. I'm saying not with respect to a gender, whether you are into work or whether you are at other work, I mean, like a business person, or you are at home, a homemaker, whatever be the person, try to take care of your health. That comes with the diet, and where millet is our own food. So that's why we focus more about it. Then I have the third part to discuss is to share some of the details. I will put it across now. 1 minute. Please hold on just few seconds. I'm trying to share. Let me see.
You can click on the share button.
Yeah, I'm doing it, but the problem is, from my other device, it has to be transferred to this.
Or alternatively, what you can do is you can log into your other device and mute yourself on that device.
Is that okay? Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
So, are you in the WhatsApp? Whether you have an option to do,
You can share on audio.
yeah, your
I'll
number.
put it in the chat box 1 second. Just 1 second.
That is it true? But it was from a person who is into, yeah, I mean, as a high commissioner, when she has told, I was really shocked. And I asked her, like, how come you are not using even I mean, mask also? Then she said, yes, we are consuming millets. Millets are like, it gives a lot of immunity. And also it gives us, a kind of a stamina which will withstand with any kind of these kind of, issues or problems or whatever you call it as a disease or anything you name it. We won't be getting affected. So this is a very, very strong fact which I wish to recommend that people have to consume this kind of a food which are anti-cancerous, which has highest immunity, which has a very high profile of micronutrients. The protein is rich, the calcium, the iron, all these kind of factors, whatever it is required for your body, it is available in the millet. And the best part which I wanted to share is, how much ever the quantity required for the human body is available in the particular quantity what you are going to consume. See, a person can consume hardly, if it is in the form of, a millet rice, say millet pungal, or say millet dosa, there is a specific quantity you say like 3 dosas or 4 dosas. Millet pongal means it will be a cup of, say, something around 200 grams or 250 grams. So when you take that particular quantity and if you convert that profile of nutrient in that, that is perfectly the value how much required for an individual for 1 day. Because too much of consuming a healthy thing also will not be accepted by your body. It will be excreted. The same day it will be sent. So you have to consume it daily and it has to be on the same quantity. So these things, I go with a kind of a methodology of a grinders or what we have is something we customized in terms of grinding it in a smashing mode, and so the nutrient is retained up to 80%. But in a home mixie itself, with revolving in 3000 RPM is a speed where you are trying to lose a lot of its nutrients because of the speed, because of the heat it is being generated, because of the metallic blades which are cutting the grains. So in that way, I wish to strongly recommend people to go for consuming this kind of a food in the right mode of preparation also. You have to soak the millets for 8 hours. Minimum soaking time is 8 hours because millet has got a lot of anti-nutrients also, which are phytin, we say, which has to be removed only by soaking. That's the only simplest mode. You have to soak it overnight, remove the water and add the fresh water and cook it, whatever you want to do. And converting a millet into a probiotic form and then consuming is another best method of consumption, because that will help you to go with absorbing more amount of that nutrients of the millet. So that way also, I recommend people to go with the whatever we say in Tamil Nadu, we call it as cool. That is something from the bajra or pearl millet. We try to grind it, soak it, add some buttermilk and salt, and you try to consume it for the summer, especially. That is the best thing. Even from the finger millet, we make it. Apart from that, if you cannot do all such things, you can go with at least making these fermented dosa batters from which you can make your regular meals. That is also more probiotic. So these are all the forms in which you have to definitely change your food patterns. If you are living in India, definitely these are the available things which you can do it specially. Definitely you have to follow it very strictly, at least weekly once or twice. I mean, when speaking to this particular madam of Africa, I was wondering that they consume millets as a staple food, like rice only. They will be using millets. They will be getting like barnyard millet, kodo millet. All these variants are grown in Africa in a good volume because of the drought. Mainly, millets are sustainable grains. We say because of the water requirement between millet and the rice is something like 20 is to 1. Rice needs 20 times of water, means millet requires only one time of that value. So in that case, millets consume very less water. That is why we call it as, first of all, as sustainable, and it even grows without any fertilizers, any kind of a pesticides is not required. That is why it is naturally organic. Millets are called as naturally organic because it doesn't need any supporting all these chemical things of you call it as fertilizers. Nothing is required. That's why tribes are growing. If you ask any tribes, they try to consume only millet, and it is only grown in their places with the marginalized soil ability, and also in terms of the water requirement, it can be grown. The third part which I wanted to say about millet is, if you grow millet, suppose you have a land and you are growing millet of say in 1 acres, you can also grow, say, at least 5 cows and 10 goats. It becomes the millet stem, and the other part becomes a fodder, cattle feed for the livestock. So this is something, another amazing part, and why millet I have taken as my life, because I even tell my friends and my team anytime that if at all I wouldn't have been a person to make something on millets as a venture or anything, at least I wish to write some poems on millet. To that extent, I have a love for millet. It's not just a blind love for millet or anything. Seeing the attributes of the grain, see how a millet is something which is supporting the nature in terms of less water consumption, no pesticides, no fertilizers. It can help the surrounding livestock like cows and goats to consume their stem and other part. The fourth part, another best thing which I will say is, millets can be combined and given for sowing. You need not grow millets as a separate entity or separately. So suppose if you are growing paddy, means only paddy will be growing. If you have anything else, it has to be removed. Otherwise, the growth of the paddy will be stopped in a point, because it will not grow. But millet is such a resilient grain or a plant which will grow along with anything else you put it on. Even 12 types of millet grains, you mix it and sow, all the 12 types of millet grains will grow automatically. They will grow. Sorry. So that's how we try to make millets as a special grain in terms of its own attributes. So, I mean, even if you bring an African over here and give him only rice and wheat, though he has a genetically growing that, so tall or whatever the stamina we see, and, try to admire at African strength and stamina, it will be modified if he's as a baby. If you bring a African baby and give only this kind of a food items, definitely the body shape, the stamina, everything will be changing. Because for anybody, please understand, if you see yourself in the mirror, it is not just you, it is what the food you consume is you. Please remember that. That will make a greatest transformation in the mind of you to go for searching and picking a healthy food, even if you are standing in front of a bigger buffet in a star hotel or anything also. Definitely the conscious will make you to go and pick a right food for your body. See, it is not that I'm getting some disease, some problem. It's because I have some genetical connections. My father had, grandfather had. No, all these can be modified only with your amount of food and the lifestyle you have, the right food, the kind of a basic lifestyle. Because whenever you want to achieve anything in life, you have lot of dreams. Every one of you, whoever listen to this audio or video, they will be having excellent aim and a kind of an aspirations they might have in their life. But first thing what is required is for your thought process, your own body should cooperate. Most of the time we think a lot, but our body may be cooperating to the extent of 40 to 50 percentage. If your mind and body both can equally work 100 percentage, you will be a successor. Definitely you can be a successful person in your life, in your relationships, or whatever you say as a happy life. If you mean it, definitely you can achieve it. So that's why it starts from the meal, from the food your life is about. Thank you for the opportunity. I can
Okay.
now be open for the questions.
Okay. Since we have just left with 7 or 8 minutes, I'll try to take minimum questions.
Yes,
Why are millets considered a climate resilient and sustainable crop for the future?
of course, because of the consumption of water. I was mentioning even previously, the consumption of water is mainly very very less. I said it is 20 is to 1. So, and whatever we are using water per day, consumption of an individual is going too high because of the population, and also the way how we are cutting down the trees and everything. We are trying to cut down the resources. We are not maintaining many of the water bodies also. In that case, at least we have to transform our food style to go for something as a sustainable food. This is something need of the hour and need of the total world, I will say. Globally, it has to be going for this change. That is why it is being always quoted as a future food. We cannot simply say millet as a healthy food. I will call it as a future food, because this is something at no cost people have to pick it up without choice.
Okay. And okay, how can farmers and entrepreneurs enter the millet processing and food business?
Sorry, ma'am. How come?
How can farmers and entrepreneurs enter the millet processing and food business?
Yeah, farmers and entrepreneurs can definitely look out. Farmers could also turn to become an entrepreneur if they can approach the right R&D institutions first. Government Make in India and PMFME schemes. If you see in the internet, with the Startup India website, there are a lot of schemes, and Ministry of Food Processing Department is also offering lot of loans, subsidies, grants for people who are trying to enter into the millet based ventures. Definitely people can take up as an opportunity. They have to approach to the various ministries, in which not various, I will say it is a food ministry, and they can refer to the website. Especially the startupindia.com is something. I will say those who want to become an entrepreneur, they have to first, like, eat an apple a day. They have to spend at least 1 hour with Startup India, where they can get lot of mentors. They can know what to be done to become an entrepreneur, to become a successful. That is, becoming an entrepreneur is not a big thing. How come you are going to be more successful in your business is something highly challenging. That too with millet means definitely you need more guidance, more mentorship. Government is giving excellent support, and people have to tap this at the right time.
Okay. And next question is, what are the nutritional advantages of millets compared to rice and wheat?
Yeah, definitely the nutrition advantage that I started the same in the very beginning. First thing is, in terms of the carbohydrate itself is of different category. Carbohydrate is available in millets. I said rice and wheat has only simple carbohydrate, whereas millet has complex carbohydrate. That is why the consumption of these millets by birds itself gives a lot of stamina for them to fly across the sea for more than 10,000 miles. At least it is flying over the sea. where it gets that sustainable energy is just by eating these tiny millet grains only. So millet grains profile, this one example, you can think how it is providing a sustainable energy because of the nature of the grain and the nutrient profile. Apart from that, it has a very good protein value and the other calcium. Every grain has a specialty. If you say finger millet, it is higher, it is rich in calcium. If you say bajra, it is rich in iron. Everything has one kind of a goodness which is more high, predominantly high. Otherwise also it has other nutrients which are equally good. But I will say that that's why it is recommended that per day one mono millet will help you to go for getting all the nutrients for your body whatever is required. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And uh, yeah, next question. What processing challenges affect taste, shelf life, and consumer acceptance of millet products?
There are, I mean, initial days, I remember we had a real challenge in taking this product into the market. As a milletpreneur, I was really suffering because people, even for a dosa batter, they were trying to say that dosa batter should be of white color. But I was bringing a ragi dosa batter and pearl millet, everything was a chocolate color, a greenish color. And so they said should be of jasmine color. How come you can bring of this color? That's the kind of a comments we had. Now people are definitely, after pandemic, I should say thanks to pandemic only, because that made people to look around for a healthy food. And now there is a very good remarkable changes happening for the people's selection of a healthy food and search for the healthy food in the market. So it's a good time and high time for people who are entering into millet and millet based products manufacturing as a venture.
Okay. And next question is, how can millets contribute to income diversification for small farmers?
Yeah, because millet doesn't need a very big kind of an investment or kind of maintenance, especially. It is not required. For small farmers, they can definitely try this as an alternative crop, or it can be a crop to be added along with some other growing. So they can refer to the agri department, probably the specific department experts will guide them very easily about which combination of the crops will work for millet, and along with that you can grow, say even with the coconut or anything, they can try to combine and grow. Many such options are there. So I believe they have to approach the universities like US Agri University. They must approach and get a proper expert guidance, and they can keep changing the crops and combining the crops. Millet should be one among the crop they are supposed to grow.
Next question is, what are the export and urban market opportunities for millet-based product foods?
Yeah, a lot of Europe countries, US, everywhere, people are now turning for a option towards a millet, and people can definitely try on export opportunities. So these particular countries, you cannot grow millets. Though the country is wishing, they cannot grow because of their climatic conditions. See, we were living in Coimbatore, but if you see, Palakkad is hardly 1 hour from here, which is Kerala. There we cannot grow millets. It's because of the climate over there is something which is adverse to millet growing, because millet needs more dry conditions. There it will be always drizzling, rainy and cloudy and all that. So that doesn't help people to grow millets over there. So in this case, if you think of Europe and other countries, definitely the kind of the climatic conditions over there will not be supporting them to grow millets. So they have to be dependent on countries like Africa, India, even China, who are growing millets in very high quantity. So people should go for this. And now even people are changing for a lot of vegan and other kind of things. Everywhere millet falls as one of the ingredient or a main product for them. So we have a quite good amount of opportunity for exports. Apart from that, I will say domestic market of India itself is so big, and we can cater for them in a huge way. Still there is an availability of millet foods in the right form is not there. any say, suppose I want to say one noodles, don't want to name it a brand. It is available everywhere, so people and children, everybody wants to pick it. If it's a 10 rupee packet, they want to buy it and use it. Why? Because it is available in every small kirana store. But if you can make your millet product to be available in all the places, definitely people will go and pick it up. Many people will think, even in Swiggy, if you open, or Zomato, you open, you are getting only biryanis and other parotas and all available as a choice. Is there anybody selling as a millet dosas? It's very less, or maybe very difficult to find such place and availability to service to your apartment or your house or your office. If you search for a millet, pongal or whatever, I don't know, your dish is about from millet, it's, I don't think it is available online to for anybody to immediately buy and consume, or immediately to buy and cook at home. Definitely still there is a very high volume of requirement is there for domestic market also.
Okay. What role do branding and packaging play in scaling market millet businesses?
Yes, ma'am. Branding and
What,
packaging.
yeah, play in scaling millet businesses?
Yeah, branding and packaging is something very, very essential. We need to have a proper expert in terms of guiding you, in terms of taking it across globally. Because, say, we were sending our products to recently to California. By the time they were giving us a guidelines that it has to be packed as 2 lbs. So I may be, I mean, thinking 1 kg package I have to give, but they said it is 2 lbs, and they said lot of other nutrient profile, these particular data should be there. So we gave it to a lab testing and we got it. So the designs, everything. Now, ma'am, please remember the days when we started 9 years before, a decade before, I will say. I was trying to search for information, where to find, where to go. I traveled so much to get informations, to get guidance. Being a first generation entrepreneur, we were traveling left and right, east and west. But now everything is available. Your chat GPT and everything, all these online digital things are available. Definitely, with all the guidance, this is a high time for people to go for venturing into millets. And I will say, first they have to capture the market. Connecting to the manufacturers, they can first find their own some branding and they can start selling it. Once they establish better, then they can go for their own manufacturing plant also, because sales is something very, very important. That is the heart of the business.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And a couple of more questions.
Yeah.
Are there any government and schemes and incentives promoting millet cultivation and processing?
Yeah, very much. There are not only for millets, especially for anything on agriculture and agri-based. You have lot of schemes supporting. I told that I am one of the grantee from the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare from the scheme called RKVY Raftar. This is available even now. I am the cohort one beneficiary who received the highest grant in the pan India. But now I see there are so many people in every region in across the country. There are a lot of people are bringing so much of innovations. It's not only from millets, I say, from anything else on agri based. Government is supporting with the grant is something, a free money, no, you need not repay. But of course you have to produce a proper accounts, you have to undergo audit for another 10 years from the date of grant. This is all there, but who will be giving you such a big support? Even sometimes the family may not be thinking and believing you to give a support in the very beginning days when you are a first generation entrepreneur from a normal middle class. When you want to start, definitely the challenges are more. So I really appreciate the government efforts are something very, very high, and it is something which we have to make use of it. And if you are not using this particular opportunity in this era, definitely you will be missing something in your life. Those who are planning to go for getting into something on business with millets, I will highly recommend, yes, they can. Only thing is they have to first learn all the basics, understand where and what products they are going to sell, potential market availability, and what is supposed to be given in the market. All that study they have to make it. If it is done and
Okay.
if they are confident, they can do.
Okay. And what are the key challenges in scaling millet enterprises from small to large level?
Yeah, the key challenges would be in terms of again investment, and also in they have to find geographically is it a connecting area and how they are going to make it. So based on the particular variety of a product, see for me, I we were making dosa batters. So now I am getting lot of enquiries and things from Pune, Mumbai. I am sitting in Coimbatore. I have a challenge in terms of taking it across Pune and Mumbai. Being a dosa batter, my shelf life I can give is only 8 days under refrigeration. So I need to now go put up a plant over there to produce the same dosa batter from my own customized machine I can do. So for me, language barrier is there, and I don't know the place. So how I will go and do that? So this is a real challenge for me. If I get all these data, and if I get a proper kind of a what do you call, a kind of a partner or a people, I think that is something which will open up the expansion of our own product. This is my own personal challenge I have. Similarly, when we discuss with any kind of a millet persons, they have a difficulty in terms of expansions, in terms of some you know uh, kind of a product only based on the product. For dry segment, I think it can be centralized and it can be given across. We were giving it across globe. Some of the products like this fresh segment, we have some challenges.
Okay, right. Uh, okay, Mrs. Subhatra, I don't see any more questions. So it was
Now,
very good to hear about millets and your experiences and usefulness and the benefits of millets. So it was very good talk. I hope our listeners will be able to benefit from it. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we'd like to thank you for the presentation and answering all the questions. So we'll be ending this meeting now. Have a good
yeah.
evening and have a good weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a real great opportunity for me to connect to all the people across Karnataka through this forum. It's an excellent mode of connecting to people, and which the government or the university is taken as an initiative. I really appreciate the total team involved for their consistency. I remember they were doing it for many years. So my best wishes to the entire team and good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.